So that September, we travelled off to the big city. He acquired us 2 ounces of cannabis, a gram of MDMA, and 5 tabs of LSD. The plan was, as he had tried it before, he was going to take a tab and a half, and I was just going to take half a tab. And also, we were going to take a bomb of MDMA beforehand, leave the rest of the MDMA for later, and then the cannabis was just smoked throughout. After 2 hours, I didn't feel anything, so I made the mistake of taking another tab of LSD. Anyone who has made that same mistake on their first trip can tell you, what the fuck, that is the stupidest fucking mistake you can ever fucking make. Don't make that fucking mistake. Don't take it with MDMA for your first time either. That was a stupid fucking mistake. 4 days later, we realised how bad a fucking mistake that was when we ended up in hospital with life-threatening serotonin syndrome. We had to take a fucking sleeping pill just to calm the effects of it, not to send us to sleep, and finally about 8 hours after leaving the hospital, smoking a lot more cannabis, the trip finally ended. LSD trips aren't meant to last 4 days, but after about 12 hours, I think maybe thanks to the MDMA or the using of the pharmaceutical pills, who knows, my serotonin was out of whack, and it was fucking terrifying. We couldn't sleep, we couldn't stop shaking, we couldn't eat, we could barely drink. We were seeing things far after the time of the trip should have ended. Yeah. That didn't stop us. We were like, cool! That's fucking crazy, man! We went to a hospital, man! We're like Jim Morrison, we're like Kurt Cobain, man! That shit's fucking cool! Ugh. So yeah, we started growing magic mushrooms. We tried LSD a few more times during that last term at uni for the summer holidays. We acquired a legal high by the name of AMT, and I took a really fucking large dose of that, and we just had the worst time ever on that. We kept trying acid, and finally the summer holiday came and I went back to my small, sleepy town. On top of all of this, I didn't stop doing MDMA. I kept doing it maybe 3 or 4 days a week. Basically without fail, I had a fucking crazy MDMA addiction. It's something that I didn't think could get that addictive, but I was completely hooked to the feeling of euphoria. And then on top of that, I had struggled with my weight my entire life. I had been very obese for about 12 years. At the start of that term at uni, I weighed 17 stone, and the binging MDMA was doing incredible things for my weight. I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping, I was just buzzing all the time. And so I lost a lot of weight. I went down to around 12 stone during that summer holiday, so from 17 stone to 12 stone over the course of just under a year. And most importantly, over the course of about 3 months. From 17 stone to 12 stone over the course of about 3 months, thanks to MDMA and psychedelics. It was fucking horrific for my body. My friends jokingly named it, they said I was in the M-Catkins diet. Never tried M-Cat though. One of our group died that summer. A drug overdose. We promised ourselves we'd stop, but we'd change. I know some of my friends have never gone over as passing. We resumed our stupid foolhardy ways almost immediately. So I started using ketamine as well. We acquired some incredibly fine ketamine. Returned to uni, and we basically came into contact with the most incredible dealer we'd ever found, who'd only come to our house for a minimum spend of £1,000. We figured we better throw a massive fucking party and get £1,000 worth of drugs. And we just bought basically everything you can imagine. This guy was like the hitman Mike, I think his name is, from Breaking Bad. He looked like him, and he'd show up all in black leathers on the back of a motorbike, park up outside our house, come in, take the helmet off, sit down for a tea or a coffee, and then start whipping out Tupperware boxes out of his backpack, just filled with like kids in a candy shop, just every different drug under the sun you can imagine. So our house quickly started turning into what basically looked like a crack den, as we were just off our fucking faces all the time on a massive variety of drugs, abusing MDMA, ketamine, LSD, and then things like Valium and Xanax, as well as cannabis now, just on a daily basis, a constant mixture of those. And then as well as that, we also started using poppers as well. They just took the edge off it, when you're just like really fucked. Just a little sniff of some poppers would take the edge off things. And we started using laughing gas because it was cheap, it was fun, it was great for parties and stuff. Everyone wanted the laughing gas. We would like crack 6 canisters into the cracker, whatever it's called, and blow up a massive balloon, or just keep popping canisters into these like giant funfair style balloons, and then just sit there for like 6 minutes inhaling on a giant fucking balloon till we passed out. I'm not the only one who almost started doing that. One of my friends was sat on a chair. I think it might have been this chair. He was sat on it. It was balloon. And just went a bit too far back and almost smacked the back of his head on the corner of his desk. We were fucking idiots. But I kept having bad trips. I kept having really bad trips. And so did one of my friends. He kept having awful trips too. So there were 4 of us in this house, and 2 of us started just not having a great time. So we'd take ketamine, and the 4 of us would be there in our lounge playing Guitar Hero, trying to stand up and play Guitar Hero for as long as you could before like the K-hole would start, and you just have to just sit down, collapse, whatever. I remember I actually got my first proper girlfriend at that time. Lovely, sweet girl. I was such a fucking retard. She was so nice. Far too good for me at the time. I was this fucked up little drug addict. And I showed up to our second date completely off my tits on like this mad Mandy and Cat come down. Yeah. I was a fucking asshole. But I kept having these bad trips. I kept having really bad trips whenever I took the psychedelics. It wasn't fun. Another one of my housemate, he was also starting to have a pretty rough time, not enjoying his course, not enjoying the way we were using the drugs. And that winter I hit probably the lowest point of my life. Before going back for Christmas to see my family, I started using butane. I was broke. We'd spent all our money on harder drugs. I just needed to get, I couldn't deal with the way I was feeling. I needed to feel something else, but I couldn't deal with feeling sober. And so I started using butane, it's lighter gas, just the cheapest thing, £2 for a can down at the shop, and that would last several days. Just lying there in bed, huffing from a can until I passed out, and I'm really, really fucking lucky I didn't die during that time. From a whole host of things. Although, as I've recently found out from the doctors, I am going to require brain scans soon because I've possibly caused permanent brain damage from the butane abuse, which is don't do any of these things I'm talking about. It's all fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid. It's that Christmas when I got back home, I was just like a fucking zombie. Just a shell of who I used to be. I weighed less than 11 stone. I was just never sober. I looked fucking awful. And worst of all, I didn't feel like I belonged there. I looked at my family and I could see them looking at me with love, but also I couldn't recognise the other look in their eyes, which I now know was worry, fear. They were so scared for me. And they didn't know how to help, they didn't know what they could do, because I wasn't letting them talk to me, and I was just pushing them away and running off into the embrace of drugs. I just wanted to be back in London, getting fucked up. So that next term, student loan fresh in our bank accounts, we decided to get on it fucking hard. All 4 of us living there, we seemed to be refreshed and now on this pathological mission to kill ourselves. So we immediately contacted that crazy dealer and we spent over £1,200 in drugs just on us. I mostly bought MDMA and cannabis, a little bit of ketamine and some of the sleeping pills, just to help take the edge off things. Me and my other friend, we just wanted to start chilling, we couldn't handle it anymore. And the other 2, they really wanted to keep going harder and harder. So as I say, I'd mostly bought, those drugs, as I say, but I also bought just 2 pills of 2CI. Yeah, 2CI. I tried 2CB at this point during the previous term, not enjoyed it whatsoever, but I thought maybe try 2CI, try the one that's even stronger, maybe you'll enjoy that. Just one final trip was the idea. And plus I'd read that it was very similar to acid, doesn't last as long. So as I say, over the next couple of months, things in the house continued to deteriorate. Two of the housemates kept wanting to trip, and me and my other housemate, we just wanted to play on the PS3, play some Metal Gear Solid 4 and PlayStation All-Stars. That's all we really wanted to do. Occasionally do some occasionally have a buzz, but mostly just relax and not bother doing any uni work. But for one last night, one final big night out, I was ready. And so we were going to go to our housemate's mega rich friend's flat in Knightsbridge. That he knew this guy from his old boarding school. Going to go show up with a driver when he came round to our house, and his driver would just wait out front in the car whilst he was in the house getting off his fucking tits, and he'd always bring with him like a few girls that we thought we were going to go and be able to pull, but no chance they weren't interested in us. They were just interested in him and his wallet. So we got there, we got to his flat. Things were really chill, weed everywhere, smoking loads. We didn't have to bring any of our own weed because he had so much. Just chilling, and me and my mate, we decided to drop these 2CI. I'd take a pill each and drop 2CI. And for some reason, I don't know why this happened. Now, I can't piece together all the parts of the puzzle and all the parts of the story, even to this date, of what went down, but we decided to leave his flat and go to some girl's flat. I guess he wanted to shag this girl, I don't know. Before I knew it, I was face down, on the floor, half lying under a bed, with some kind of cream of gel and shit smeared all over my face, convinced that I was dying, listening to Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club by the Beatles on endless repeat, just spinning, looping these waves of paranoia, terror, and just mostly being convinced that I was dead. I don't know how long we were there, how long the trip lasted. I know fuck all about it, basically. At some point I remember we were riding on the London Underground, going back home, and people were staring at me, and I just didn't give a shit. I just wanted to get home, and me and my friend had decided that this was getting a bit too much for us. We spent 2 days just sat in his room talking about what we'd experienced and the horrible nightmare scenarios that we'd gone through, and just how we didn't want to do this anymore. We were done. We were absolutely done. We returned home 2 days later, back to the sleepy little village. That was 7 years ago, and I haven't touched a drug since. Unless you count cannabis, which you probably should count as a drug. My GP thankfully recently okayed it for me to be, it'd rather me eat it than smoke it, but it was fine with me using it at the moment. Prescription pills just have really bad reactions with me. But being UK, he can't give me a prescription. He hasn't got one of those licenses to give out cannabis prescriptions, and they can only really be in things like MS, so he's like, look, it's alright you smoking it, just don't get caught. Which is a funny old situation to be in with your doctor.
Sorry, Osipper, my GP tells me I need to smoke this.
I don't know what I'm meant to do. I can't hold down a job anymore. I can't even enjoy pleasures as simple as playing a video game or sex half of the time. I can't eat, and I've gone from being an obese child who at his largest weighed 17 stone, over 94 kilos I think, down to 56 kilos, which as a 6'2" adult man isn't enough. I was officially diagnosed with anorexia about, what was it, anorexia nervosa, whatever it's called, I don't know, about a year ago, but I struggle with it a lot. I don't really know what to do about it half the time, and I've been working hard at it with exercise and trying to drink things like full fat milk. That's actually been helping a lot, and recently I've managed to get myself back up to 70 kilos, so I'm making improvements there, but I can't fix all the issues I have by myself, and so that's why I'm awaiting a brain scan at my local hospital. And I've been waiting for a psychiatry appointment with a ADHD specialist now for quite some time. I had a psychiatry appointment with the local crisis team and their specialist, and he was basically like, I don't know. I can only diagnose depression and BPD, which I guess is, I'd rather not just label me as one of those things, but obviously not just generalized depression or BPD. I'm not a sociopath. So maybe after 8 years now, we'll be able to figure out whether it's bipolar or something else. And the bottom line is, every day I wish I could do MDMA. Every time I fill up a lighter and look at that can of gas, it scares the shit out of me. I still think I'm dead a lot of the time, and when I have panic attacks it's almost overwhelming, and I still can't listen to the Beatles because I will freak the fuck out if I do. Thank you for watching.